if there is a recession, civil engineers will not have any problem because government will have to create job, and the best thing to create job is have civil projects, and that's all what we need anyways, right? We don't need multiple jobs. One good job is what we need. And the house is full of civil engineers, so we can have an in-house discussion on this aspect that yes, it is very much required for the country's growth. Without civil engineering, I don't think any country can grow. For example, in the United States, after the World War, when the President Eisenhower, when he went back, the first thing he started is build the national highway system, because he found that in Europe, people were able to move arms and ammunition easily from east coast to west coast and crisscross. It was very easy. So the road network was very good, which was not existing in US at that time. I'm talking about 1930s. So he started this national highway system, and now if you look at US map, you can see like a checkbox, very large network and very intricate network of roads. Not intricate, but easy to rather easy network of roads. So India also needs a lot of such things. So I'll show you some maps on various mega projects which our country has taken up. And so we are in this second building of the nation. So what do we need? Mainly, a lot of human resources is required. Okay, and human resource, when I say, I'm talking about quality human resources. This is not just the number of people, but it is also good civil engineers is important. Not just people with a paper, like a civil engineering degree. Many a times, when we start learning theory in class, there is a sense that I want to know more practical stuff. I don't want to learn theory. I have been told by many students like this. That's why I thought this is very important. But remember one thing, you have to practice theory. So if you don't know theory, you don't know what to practice. Then you end up in doing trial and error at the sites or in design offices. So learning theory is very, very important, because that is what you have to practice later. So any of you think when teachers talk in class, theories starts, I don't want to know this, I want to learn more about the practice. So that's not really the right thing to do. You need to really learn theory. Now these are some of the mega projects which we have in our country now. National Highway Program. If you go to these various ministries' websites, you will see this these maps like this. When you spend time on other things, try to earmark some time on learning what is out there in civil engineering and what is going to happen in the next few years in civil engineering. Okay, there are specific projects on railways, industrial corridors, gas pipelines, ports. A lot of such things exist. So you can see, just for because the highways and roadways and all everybody knows, just look at the top right map over there. Gas pipeline starting from Mumbai area, going to all over the country, radiating really from the Mumbai region, Mumbai-Gujarat region. So now this West Asia war, you know that we have shortage of LPG, right? So where is it coming from? It comes and then lands in Gujarat or that region from the Gulf area, and then you have to distribute that to the rest of the country. How do we do all that? So a lot of civil infrastructure is necessary for this. Imagine a pipeline and you have some problem, like pipeline is 1,000 kilometers long, you have some problem somewhere in the whole pipeline is shut. Who will maintain all this? You need civil engineers to make sure that the series system is not really damaged. Okay, so throughout the lecture I will talk about what civil engineers do. We will keep on talking about this. Okay. We have a role in the country's rebuilding of the nation. So this is again another one, metro projects. What you see on the picture is not a probably civil engineer's product, but to run this you need civil engineer, right? If you, let's say on today's another thing is data center or AI, whatever this computer related stuff we talk about, where do they all stand or sit? Has to have a building. So without civil engineering, we don't really, the other branches doesn't really stand. Okay, so there's seriously we have to really be proud of what we do. That's very, very important. Okay, now this is about another project, Prime Minister's Village Roads project. Okay, that means connecting not only from city to city, but also there are a lot of arterial roads which or distributary roads which connect to various parts of the country, because without that the people from the farmland will not be able to take their product to the cities. And if you can't do that, then it's very difficult for taking our crops from the rural area to the city so that they can sell it and then make money out of it. This is again National Quadrilateral Project. You can see all the cities. So now, how many roads do you see in this? Mainly 3 projects, one north-south, one east-west, and one golden quadrilateral which is connecting like a quadrilateral shape. Now, do you think when this project comes up, what do you think will happen to the adjacent land or cities or villages nearby these roads or these highways? They will also have a lot of projects coming up. So it's a lot of associated projects will start coming up. If you put a highway let's say in the middle of a village, you have a highway coming up, suddenly the land price will shoot up. Right? Why? Because there's potential for more business along the highways, along the road. So any road project, that means you are going to see more projects in the nearby region. So this I just showed this bridges and flyovers. Today it may be very common for you, like 15 years ago to see a flyover, it's really difficult. But today you travel through a city, a lot of flyovers you will see. It's nothing new for us, and we need many more of that. Why? To avoid congestion. Without such flyovers, it's almost impossible to carry the amount of traffic which we have or the vehicles which we have. Okay, so lot of opportunities for civil engineers. You just have to do your job of study well, and then there are good civil engineers. I don't think there's another thing. If there is a recession, which we may hit very soon because of the war, if there is a recession, civil engineers will not have any problem. Why? Because government will have to create job, and the best thing to create job is have civil projects. But other branches, so civil engineers will have at least one job in hand, and that's all what we need anyways, right? We don't need multiple jobs. One good job is what we need. Now this is again another project of interlinking of rivers. So you can see this map here. These are actually various canal projects connecting various rivers all across the country. So projects like this do happen, and there are a lot of opportunities for civil engineers. And so with this, the advantage is that we may not be facing drought. So even if during the peak summer, we may be able to take water from some other part of the country where there is enough water and take it to, or so in other words, water shortage can be handled. So this is again more detailed. So such maps, I would like you to go through internet and find out these mega projects. So maybe you can find out where your interest fits well. Which branch of engineering you should pick up, which branch of civil engineering you should pick up. I'll come to that point later. So this is again dam engineering. So who will build this? Has to be civil engineer. Okay, maybe the pumps and other things inside, a mechanical engineer will come and do it, but the main structure has to be built by civil engineers. Okay. Now other project is seaport or necklace, Sagarmala, various names. These are like all along the coast you have. Yeah. So this is the, you can see the entire coastal belt which we have. Okay. And Gateway of India. Right. That's the first seaport project. And now we have, you can see along that red line, lot of cities all along. And they have a lot of ports already built, and those structures are now aged. So now we are in a in rebuilding or rather renovating those projects, and also building new to handle more capacity. The number of ships or trading which used to happen 10 years ago is not what is happening today. It has increased significantly. So you have to have additional capacity, and this is very, very important for the growth of the nation. And again, we have airports. Earlier, if you want to go from today, people talk about how many of you are from all over the country, right? Yes, various parts, yeah. So how many of you came, at least when I was a BTech student, I never used to think about going by flight. It was all by train, and it takes 2-3 days. Today we don't even, depending on financial situation, but most of it's much more affordable today. Flights it's not at all possible. It is easily affordable to many class of the society, and then lot of such projects are coming up also. And again, civil engineers have to do this. And this is again another thing, our requirement. This number is actually a little old number. Today we have, close to 1,000 lakhs household requirement is there. Okay, and statistics says even in 2030, the way in which we are constructing our houses, 70% of them will not be in proper house. Only 30% will have proper house. So you have a huge requirement of building housing. Housing sector is a huge requirement. So imagine, I'm talking 5 years down the line. Okay, only 30% people will have proper houses. So this is something serious, and we need to really accelerate the way in which we construct houses. How do we accelerate? One technology which is available is precast concrete. It's like Lego blocks. You all have seen Lego blocks, right? So can we think of, you just make a phone call and ask the supplier of beams and columns and slabs. You tell that I need this particular model, 10 pieces of that, and it comes to your site by tomorrow, 65%. Okay, so we have a lot of room available to study materials and construction, so that we can reduce that contribution from materials and structures. Okay, again, you look at what are the programs available elsewhere in other parts of not only your college, also look for other colleges where and what type of engineering studies or programs are available. So it's very, very important. Now, when you talk about quality, where does it come from? You have to feel it. Whatever, you should be proud of saying that I was part of this project. I contributed to this project. So if you want to tell that, you have to do a very good job. Otherwise, you won't feel like telling. You will say, okay, I want to step out of the project and then I go to the next project. Okay, so it has to be, see, you will do a quality job. If we remove the grading in your class, will you do a job? Good job? Some of you are sleeping, so I have to wake you up. If we remove the grading, like in the semester exams, if there is no exam, will you still study? How many of you will study if there is no exam? Yes, I have some hands rising. So okay. So that's really where I would say you really feel to be a civil engineer. So this is something you can see this. Every time I show this slide, people start laughing. What is the problem here? We expect others to work, not me. When you do that job, if that person who is doing that straight line, if that worker was serious about his job and feeling proud of his job, his or her job, that person would have removed that branch of tree and go straight. It's a very clear indication of lack of interest in what you do. Okay, so please don't do this. Now, various areas of civil engineering, like I just put this together just to show that, you know all these things, but still there is one area over there, which is the first one, which is building technology, construction materials and management, which you won't see in many of your, undergraduate curriculum. But now it is really emerging because there is a huge gap in that area and a lot of opportunities also. Construction is booming. You really need project managers who are very good. Okay. Now, who is a civil engineer? This question comes often. By studying a few books on structures, geotech and transportation, will you really become a civil engineer? You need to really practice, and in the first 20 years we learn all this. In the next 20 years, this slide is from Professor CVR. So he says people actually go for MBA degrees and all that, but that will not make you civil engineer manager. You have to really know the stuff on ground. You need to really understand that. Then only you can manage them. Okay. Now, if you do a bachelor's degree, there are various career opportunities available. Higher studies is one option. In your colleges, you will have placement cell, right? Yes or no? Yes. If you get an admission for a master's program, would you consider yourself to be placed? Why not? You are placing yourself for the next 2 years. Guaranteed stipend. So please rethink about this. Okay. Go for higher studies. I think in future we are not going to deal with simple civil engineering. There is definitely a need for people with master level knowledge in specialized areas. You really need to have such special knowledge. It's very important for having a good career ahead. And higher studies is important. So please consider this. The word placement is not only to get a job in a private company or a government company, but PSUs, but placing yourself for higher studies is also a placement. Okay. And then after 2 years, you may go for further higher studies, or that, I have set of slides, I removed that, but thing is, please consider higher studies as a very important. Okay. That will really help you to have a great career ahead. So this message, see, you are on that purple circle. Okay. Now you can choose the red path, you can choose the green, red or green, you can choose. Aim is to reach the orange circle on top of the first mountain, which may take 2-3 decades. Okay. So career goal, I want to do this like that. So if you do this racing or the red path, then after a couple of decades, you will find that you have not done enough. So there is a lot more hard work to do to rise this through that climbing. And at that time, you may not have enough energy, or you may have a lot of other things in your life. Now it's free. You are single, you are free, you can do whatever you want. Okay. But if you pick the green path, do your best you can today, study well, work hard, and then what you will find when you reach up there, you might find that there is another mountain behind, better than what you can envision today. Okay. But still, because you are done so well today, it's easier to reach. You just have to glide. Your energy level required is lower. Okay. This is really something, if you do, it's like a frog in a well. Frog doesn't know what is outside, right? It has to come out to see what is outside. So you have to really study. When you study a subject, you start being challenged. Then you start getting more interest in that subject. So you keep going like that. So please do your primary job. What is the primary job right now? Study. Okay. All other things come secondary. Please do that well. And education really pays off. This is from one of my geotech teacher. He collected data and then found out that as you get higher degree in the lifetime, you will get more money. Because Lakshmi and Saraswati both are important. We cannot ignore one. So, and don't think that going for PhD you are not going to be rich. You will be having sufficient money to live for sure. Okay, may not be a lot of money to spend unnecessarily, but you will not go hungry. Now, some key words, your interest and society. See, some of us, now a lot of this interest for startups are there. I have one request for all those who are thinking about startups and starting new companies, etc. Find out a need which is really there. Okay, a need which is really there. Need of who? Not your need, society's need. You create an idea which can satisfy that large need which is out there. Then you don't have to really think about failure of your startup, because this is one serious challenge which everybody has. Now, this is the last slide. Now, if you plan well today, you will definitely have a great career ahead. But if you don't plan today, you are essentially planning to fail. So please plan. You have enough resources available. Internet is flooded with resources on what is out there, what are the various opportunities, challenges, etc. in civil engineering. Start planning for next at least 10 years. Rest things will change, serendipity. So we don't know what will happen later. But at least for the next 10 years, please start planning. So that first 10 years is learning, second 10 years is establishing yourself in a particular area, third 10 years is accomplishing, and fourth is achievement. You can say, okay, I achieved something in my career. So that's every 10 years people define like these four, next 40 years. But at least plan to learn for the next 10 years. And I'm not saying not to do a job. Through the job you learn. Okay. Stipend is also something very good. So please consider placing yourself in a higher study. Okay. Thank you.